What if the villain you hated most was actually the one you understood the least? Because Loki isn't just a villain, he's something far more uncomfortable. He's relatable. Think about it. Why does someone who constantly loses, constantly lies, and constantly hurts others still manage to steal every scene he's in? Why do people root for him even when they know they shouldn't? It all starts with one brutal truth. Loki was never meant to feel like he belonged. Adopted, hidden behind a lie, and raised in the shadow of a perfect brother, Loki's entire identity is built on insecurity. And here's the real psychological twist. He doesn't just feel inferior, he believes he has to prove he's not. So, what does he do? He creates chaos. Not because he loves destruction, but because chaos is the only place where rules don't favor Thor. In psychology, this ties into something called a compensatory behavior. When someone feels powerless in one area of life, they overcompensate in another. Loki can't outshine Thor in strength, honor, or approval, so he dominates in manipulation, intelligence, and unpredictability. But here's the question. Does Loki actually enjoy being the villain, or is it the only role he thinks he's allowed to play? Look closely and you'll notice something interesting. Every time Loki gets close to acceptance, he sabotages it. Why? Because deep down, he doesn't trust it. When you grow up feeling second best, you start to believe love is conditional, temporary, fragile, and eventually you expect it to disappear. So, instead of waiting to be rejected, you reject first. That's Loki's cycle: betray, regret, repeat. And it gets even darker. Loki doesn't just lie to others, he lies to himself. He convinces himself that power equals worth, that ruling others will somehow fill the void inside him. But every time he gains power, what happens? He still feels empty. Because power can control people, but it can't create belonging. And this is where Loki becomes more than just a Marvel character. He becomes a mirror. How many people hide insecurity behind confidence? How many people push others away before they can be hurt? How many people build an identity just to cover up who they're afraid to be? Loki represents the part of human psychology we don't like to admit exists. The part that craves validation, the part that fears rejection, the part that would rather be feared than forgotten. But here's what makes Loki truly fascinating. He changes. Slowly, painfully, and not always successfully, but he changes. Because for the first time, he starts asking a different question. Not, how do I prove I'm better, but who am I really? And that question is the beginning of growth. So, maybe Loki was never meant to be the villain. Maybe he was meant to show us how easy it is to become one, and more importantly, how hard it is to stop. If this made you see Loki, or even yourself, a little differently, hit like, subscribe, and check out the next video. You might just discover that the line between hero and villain isn't as clear as you think.